This is a station for reparation. This is a station for reparation. This is a station for reparation.
I'm looking at you and I'm just like, I'm just seeing so much of your mannerisms and gestures. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna bring this a little bit closer because I'm like,
I do appreciate the numerology. You bring that in. So I'm like, yeah, it's definitely part of my personal practice.
all right, because the 2025, I'm realizing that this year feels, we're sort of matured in a way this year. So a big part of these interviews is this sort of gather or archive as many of these like what have people been maturing over, you know, like so that we can take that into this next cycle with us and not forget, like what we were talking about before, sort of not forgetting that you have all this practice under your belt when you're going to this next level. So I'd love to hear a little more specifics about Asada's house. Like what goes into something being a lived practice, lived experience, to it then being like how did it come out?
I think the name is picking Asada.
Yeah.
I think the name is really big as to like how we've gotten to this point of doing the work. It has been the struggle.
Yeah.
It has been the struggle. Initially, Asada's house was more so this, I would say, a pop-up like wellness experience. And it was called A Moment for Rest. And I created that in 2022.
So rest was like in the beginnings of it. Like
Yeah.
that was a beginning intention.
Yeah. Rest was big because hearing from a lot of like elders about just their lives, the pandemic was very important. I would say specifically in my life with the folks in my circle and my family, to be like, my whole life I felt like I was running. Like I was always going and I'm always running, I'm always and I'm listening and I'm receiving that. And I'm also feeling like, dang, like up to this point, I just been running too. Like, where am I running to? Like, why am I always trying to get somewhere, you know? And so then hearing things like above me, my neighbor, she had this living boyfriend. He was already bad before the pandemic. During the pandemic, the abuse just got worse.
Okay.
Then also again, like realizing what she was experiencing, a lot of femmes were experiencing during the pandemic. Domestic violence went up like crazy. And so for me, that, then working with the parents, I'm like, when we get out of this, we're gonna need to rest, you know? And we're gonna need to like reorient how we move about, because the truth of the matter, whatever that American dream that we were kind of like, you know, taught to aspire to, it don't exist no more.
Right.
It doesn't.
Right.
And so even for myself to be a millennial and be like, I'm always trying to achieve and do all these things. I did all the steps that I was taught to have success in this world. And even if I were to continue to pursue that success or power or money, I know that's not going to make me happy.
Yeah.
And so just a deep knowing came from me, was just that when this all happens, we're going to need to talk about this. We need to really just think about some sustainable practices in the future that we can start to weave together to just kind of like take care of ourselves better, but also we got ancestor Octavia Butler.
Yeah.
Where it's just like Earthseed. And what were they doing?
Yeah.
And they were connecting to the soil.
Yeah.
They were taking care of each other. They were in their own community pockets, their own religions, survival practices. Those are some of the things that started to just like inspire, like, okay, before we get there,
Yeah.
because I've already been in organizing spaces where it's just like go, 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 go. We can't do that no more.
Yeah.
We can't fight without rest.
Yeah.
And so that's a big thing within Asada's house is just like, yes, we're weaving together healing arts, but we're also weaving together collective liberation studies and economic empowerment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that we're able to, call in a more sustainable way of living together. And as people that our bodies have historically been used by the government, by the capitalistic machine, by the medical, field. It's time that we reclaim our bodies. We learn how to take care of our bodies, and we learn how to rest.
Yeah.
So that's the first part.
Yeah.
This is a station for reparation. 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 This is a station for reparation.